Yeah, hey, I work hard every day,
Hey, what's up, guys? Want to save $600 today? Well, I've actually found a way. Look, we're actually going to be doing a spark plug setup on this 2014 320i. And I just went there and picked up the actual spark plug. They gave us a really good deal. They were like $28 when they're originally like $36. Well, here in Arizona that is. I don't know where you guys are located from. But I just went there to find out how much would they charge, and they said $600 plus tax. Well, we're gonna say $600 plus tax because all you just pay for is just the parts, not the labor. So take a look. Alright, so we're gonna open up the hood. There's a funny thing about this car actually. You actually have to lift the leverage twice to unlock the actual hood. On most cars, right, you'll unlock it one time and that's fine. Not this car. This car is twice. Something different about BMW. I never knew about that until, of course, that's one, right? And two, something that my lady pretty much taught me, something new. But I didn't know that. Alright, now, to get to the spark plugs, we're gonna go ahead and remove this and access where the spark plugs are at. First and foremost, we're gonna go ahead and remove this plastic stuff. There's two popping areas. There's one on this side and one over here mainly. This one's pretty much easy, it comes off pretty easy. The other ones are, they're on the tight end. Second of all, now we got one plastic out the way. We're gonna go ahead and remove this to access our spark plugs. Look at that. So, and then we'll put this to the back for now, and you access all the spark plugs. Now you have 1, 2, 3, and 4. These are gonna be where your spark plugs are gonna be located. You just lift this little tab up, right, on all of them. When you lift them up, you're pretty much disconnecting them from the actual plug itself, okay? Once you do that, you wanna make sure that you don't lose the order of sequence in the way where you remove them. Me personally, what I do is I work one at a time, and that way I know for sure I'm not gonna mess up a sequence on the way they are set up. Right now we currently have the NGKs, the OEM BMW ones. They are actually the single prong ones, not double or triple or platinum and all that crazy stuff. It's just a single one, you know? So, I'm gonna go ahead and gap them to the right gap number if they need it to be. If not, then we just slap them right on. Alright guys, so when removing your coil, right, you wanna inspect it. I know this is a brand new car, or kind of brand newish, 2014. You might not experience any type of damage here, but this is something you wanna look into. Want to make sure that it's not broken into pieces, if there's any type of oil, all that type of stuff is something that you just want to take a look into, okay? So far, dry, everything looks pretty good, not bad. So you have a really good coil, that's all for right now. Now, as you can see here, what I'll do is I'll go ahead and check to see if there's any type of oil inside there, okay? If there's oil in there, that means that one of the seals are pretty bad or it's getting worse, okay? So I'm noticing that there's no oil means that the seal is pretty good. So that's really good news. Alright guys, so we have the BMW spark plug. Now this BMW spark plug comes already pre-gapped, meaning that you don't really need to have this gapper to actually gap them. But me, I would like to be safe and I want to make sure that the number is correct. So if you guys see, it is right there on the second line, right? So if it's on the second line, I want to make sure that the ones I'm removing are also going to be around the second line. Now there's some that have double prongs, triple prongs, or sometimes they'll quadruple. Those are the ones that you just don't gap, okay? Those are already set up to a standard that you can't gap them. So just keep that in mind. Hold on, correction. You cannot gap anything that's pretty much 2 or more, okay? You could gap the single ones. Not anything that's 2 or more, okay? Just let me want to clarify that a little bit better. Alright, so always use your extensions for this type of job. You might actually gonna need 2 extensions. In this case, I'm probably gonna go with 2, just to be on the safe side. And we'll go about it just like this, okay? Now remember, we already disconnected everything, so that nothing is being plugged in, okay? The only way we're gonna work is 1 at a time. Most people would tend to go ahead and do 2 or 3 or 4, but no, not me. I like to always work 1 at a time. So it's like 100 and something degrees right now. Just have to take my hat off because it's just building up sweat. Anyways, decided to go and pick up the right socket for this specific car. Now they're both 50 millimeters, okay? But in this car, I learned that you have to get a thin socket or a thin wall socket for the actual spark plugs, which is this one. So as you can see, there's thin wall and the regular, spark plug socket. Now this is not gonna fit into the bay where it's supposed to go, so I had to actually get the thin one. So this is actually very crucial, because I didn't know I had to get a thin one for this. So, and it was only let's see, like $7.59. So it's $7.59. So I spent I spent on that, and then it was like a $2 for the gap, like $1.59, which of course I'm not gonna need it because they're pre-gapped. But I decided to get a gap just in case, right? Alright guys, next, as it gets farther and deeper down there, you want to, of course, change your settings on your extensions, okay? Like on this one, I'll use this extension, but I'm gonna use an elbow key so that way I could use it over here and twist this way. You'll see. Alright guys, another thing is this. This right here is something I recommend. I actually picked this up at Harbor Freight. I think it was like $9 or $10. But this, when you actually work on your car, you're not gonna scratch it with like your, things like this. I'm okay wearing things like this because I have such a protector. But if I recommend you, wear basketball shorts. Basketball shorts, they have nothing that you're gonna be able to scratch your car with. So if you don't have this, work on your car with basketball shorts. Or trunks. Yes, trunks. Do that, believe me. You'll scratch your car and you'll feel refreshed. Alright guys, so this is a two-prong one. So you can see the right leg. My right is your right, my right is your left. But this one right here is really close to that thing. So this is like really bad. This is like completely damaged. So that's something I wouldn't want to fix or mess around with. I would just get it replaced. This comes from a supercharged one, the blue one. The two prongs that gives you more spark. So that's a really bad one. Now, this is the one that came out of this car. So you can see it's not as bad. But if you look here, right in the back, you have some burn area, right? There's not much carbon deposit buildup. There's only this much carbon deposit buildup over here. And this is just normal wear and tear, throughout time. Now, if you look over here, where the ignite is supposed to go, there's not really much metal against metal connection. It's more like there's like a clear coat of some sort of a gray smoke phase. You know what I mean. It's just not really connecting. Like there's no metal against metal. It's like some sort of gray area there. Now, back in the day in Colombia, from what I know, Colombia, you actually used to sand them. Sand them down and reuse them. That's how it was back in the day. Now, then of course they don't make them that durable and that reliable. They just need to replace all of them. So we don't do that no more. We get to replace all of them. But it's really not that bad. I've seen some so really bad that the white part right here, it just melts. It's like melted. So you see there's a lot of life left. Let's compare it to this one. So as you can see, it's starting to get burned right there, but it still has a lot of life left. So let's compare this one with this one. This one still has a bigger head. This one has a thin head. Okay, so also difference on that as well. Okay, this head, if it was over, it would become like this thin throughout time. Okay, but this ones are designed this way. Okay, just like this one. Okay, now when tying this up, right, this is very, very crucial, okay, to make sure that you torque them at the right amount of torque. There's a tool specifically designed that tells you what torquage are you on, okay? It's called the torque tool. I don't carry that, I don't have that, but I know for sure what kind of torque am I looking for, okay? Because you don't want to just hand tie them because he expands. So if he expands, now you have a probable cause of a loss or a misfire to happen. So it's always practical to, when you tie it, to make sure that it's tight but not too like crazy tight to the point that when you try to remove them next time, that you might break them and you might end up with the actual spark plug inside and just end up with just the outer case. If that's the case, man, you're in some serious trouble, okay? So let's not do that. Alright, so after what we have installed the actual new spark plug, right? We're gonna go ahead and start putting your coil back on, okay? Just put your coil plug it in there. Now you have this little connector. Make sure that you put in the right thing, push it all the way, which already entitles this to go, and you close it. There you go. Now you have a sealed spark plug with the coil on there. Next, we're gonna go ahead and work on the next one. Remember, I just keep everything out of there. Plug it out, inspect it, okay? It's not wet, it's not ripped, it's not dry. So far, you look like, visually, you have a good coil. Keep in mind that this mechanism inside here could go bad. Just because you don't see bad wear on here doesn't mean that this thing might not be working properly. But physically, you look at it, it looks good. So right now we're bypassing, removing all this. I think maybe that's why they charge $600 to, you know, change the spark plugs, because they might have to remove this so they could get better access and not, you know, I guess work harder this way. I guess, I don't know, but I think still $600 is way too much for a spark plug change, guys. I don't know what you guys think. But as you can see, it's pretty much almost done. Alright guys, so pretty much, what's next? Just put in the last set of coil. As always, always inspect them. The way this coil is gonna go is gonna go always in an angle. The tip might be a little bent at the beginning, but there you go. It's just so you could have enough clearance to put it in there. Then make sure that you have the right connection here. And you want to go do just the way you took it out. So plug this down first, right? There you go. Plug it down. Boom, all the way down. Next, lift this up. Take your connector, connect it to your coil here. Just bear with me as I'm trying to see everything all at once. A little bit more this way so I got some leverage. There you go. Push it all the way in. So you can see that's that. So next thing is put in that black piece, right? The black plastic piece. You have your heat shield. Okay. So you put this heat shield in there. Oh, by the way, guys, take a look at this. Since you already have open most of it, you want to go ahead and look at this. So you see this, pretty much the same thing like on the other on the other BMW. You have symptoms of a sweaty section where oil might be spilling. Okay, so all this is your valve cover gasket. Now I see there's certain oil here and there, but if you look up here, right here, this is a little wet. Okay, so that means that there's some sort of oil that has spilled in the past there and it's building up dirt. So it looks like this right here, this gasket is the one that needs to be replaced. Okay, so before you change your valve cover gasket on this type of motor, I recommend you start with this. And then if this still persists, then you're gonna go ahead and change your valve cover gasket. The reason why I'm not saying go ahead and change your valve cover gasket is because I don't see any symptoms all around the gasket that might need to be replaced. So if I don't see any other symptoms here, and I only see the main symptoms on top, I'm assuming that 9 out of 10 is from here, okay? So I always have to look into, now that you have the motor open as it is, to inspect for things in that nature. Because if you could prevent something now, it's best to do it than getting stuck on the side of the highway at 120-degree weather, especially out here in Arizona. So I'm gonna put this baby back in here, okay? Boom. Another cool thing is that this BMW, you don't have to remove the cap to put the plastic piece. An example, the Chevy Cruze I worked on, you have to remove the cap in order for you to remove the plastic piece. This one you can slide it right over and you don't have to do such thing. So, let's take a look. You start with the back piece first. There's 2 clips here. You want to make sure that you're going to go ahead and slide them right where they go. Then you kind of go just like this, right? As you can see, I didn't have to remove it. And push down. Boom. Ta-da! Spark plugs changed. Part of your tune-up, technically, is done. Okay? I'll be showing you guys more in detail as far as all the tools needed to get it done on a 320i, 320a, M3, anything that's an F30 or F80 spark plugs. Okay? The same concept works for all those type of BMWs. Now keep in mind, I don't know if the X5 or X6 or this type of area will work the same. I'm not 110% sure, but notice about the motor, it's the same, right? So you still want to use the same thin wall spark plugs socket, as of course I usually purchase one. So I recommend going that route. But besides that, any of you guys have questions for me? Anything? Alright, okay, don't talk too much. Just relax. I'm trying to read here. Hold on. Alright guys, you enjoy your weekend. If you have anything else to say, by all means, let me know. Anything coming up next will be on that car. We're going to be doing the flush system on that one. I actually just got the coolant. We picked it up today. So that's that, and that's going to be part of the coolant system flush. The reason why we're going to flush the system is because during the previous maintenance, they actually added an adhesive in there to stop a radiator leak. When you do that to a BMW, it's very drastic because the lines on the cooling system are very notorious to be bad. So if you're adding more things into it, you kind of clog in the area, and that's something you don't want to do in BMWs. So we're going to be doing the flush, and then adding a whole new cooling system in there to avoid getting that code that is currently on right now. And there you go, you're all set. So if you guys like it, go ahead and don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you soon. Work on your car with basketball shorts or trunks. Yes, trunks. Do that, believe me. You'll scratch your car and you'll feel refreshed.